Hi guys, welcome back to another video. I'm so happy that you're here. Today's video is so exciting. I've been waiting to film this for so long, and it's the month of December, and this time of year is like my favorite time of year. Not because of the holidays. I mean, I like the holidays just as much as anybody else, but I love this time of year because everybody is like reflective, and you know, or maybe it's just me, I don't know, but like I feel like more people are reflective. They're looking back on their year as a whole, and you're trying to like picture what you want your next year to look like, and you're coming up with all these goals. And those of you who are like into this kind of stuff, you make the vision boards, you're into manifesting and all of these things. Well, that's what today's video is about. All things manifesting, how to manifest, and how to basically create the best reality possible in 2024. I'm just gonna lay it all out for your benefit and for my own to hopefully keep myself on track. In this video, we're going to talk about the types of manifesting, things that I think are important to keep in mind when you're manifesting, how I personally manifest, and then I have prompts which I will share with you guys, which makes making a vision board that much easier because there's all these goals that you already have, and then you can go and make a vision board based on things that are going to represent those goals. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to be making my 2024 vision board and like walk you through the whole process. Sit back, grab a paper, grab a pencil, you know, let's start dreaming about what it is we want for 2024. And without further ado, I've been talking for so long, let's just get right into it. The first thing we're going to talk about is types and like techniques for manifesting. I'm gonna get the ones that I don't do out of the way because I don't really know much about them, and I'm not gonna come on here and pretend that I know like everything, because I don't. To be honest, my mom was the first person who ever introduced me into manifesting, and I was probably like 15 or 16 years old when she first told me about it. Really, the only thing that I did was the vision boards. She showed me the movie The Secret, and it's all these different people talking about how manifesting and the law of attraction works. And that movie literally changed everything for me. If you have not seen it, watch it. That first one, The Secret movie, is more of like a documentary. There's also a book that goes along with it. And if that's not your cup of tea, there's The Secret Dare to Dream, which is more of like a movie, like a traditional type of movie. We watch that quite often. It's a really, really good movie. The movie is basically the main character guy is all about like looking at the positives in life and kind of just like expecting good things to happen. And he never gets like too bent out of shape about anything, because with everything there's always a reason. Life is happening for you, not to you, you know, all these different like mentalities. And it's such a good movie, so I would highly recommend watching both of them. From that point I started making vision boards because that was something that they talked about, was how powerful making a vision board is, because it really takes your thoughts, your ideas, your dreams, and you physically put them on something. It's something that you can look back on like quite often as kind of like a reminder of what you're working towards, or it could be, there's been stories of people who have done it and then they, with life and things shuffling and whatever, it gets like put in a closet, and then they come across it like 10 years in the future and they're like, wow, like this came true, or like I did this for myself, I did this. So obviously making a vision board is like a physical way of manifesting. That technique I'm very familiar with, and that's kind of what the purpose of this video is going to be. Another technique that I've heard people do, I myself have tried it, it's not one of my favorite things to do. There's a whole backstory as to why 369, like that number sequence, is so important, and that has to do with Nikola Tesla. And I'm not even gonna get into that because that's like a whole different like slew of things. If you're interested in that kind of stuff, if you want a video on that, I will do the research. But that's what I know. The 369, it's connected to Nikola Tesla, like the vibration of 3, the vibration of 6, and the vibration of 9. Like there's something significant about those 3 numbers. I don't want to butcher it, so I'm not gonna try to explain it, but I've tried it and it works, but it's very time consuming and very tedious, and it gets very repetitive because you're essentially, you come up with this one thing that you really want, okay, and then you write it as if you already have it, like I am so thankful for this, or I'm so grateful that this or this, whatever it is that you're manifesting for. You write it 3 times, and then you write it 6 times, and then you write it 9 times. And this is for each different goal. That's why I'm like, it's very time consuming, it's very tedious. So I don't prefer that one, but if that is something that's, it's more of like a very organized if you don't have a lot of things that you're manifesting for all at once, you know, I would highly recommend that one. The technique that I am the most familiar with, the one that I choose to do myself personally, is scripting. I feel like scripting is good for somebody who has a very active imagination, somebody who really likes to read and who gets very invested in reading. Like when you're reading a book, you feel like you are literally there, like you are a part of it. That is who I would recommend try scripting. I mean, everybody should try scripting, but if you know for a fact like you are in this category, I would highly recommend it. Basically, scripting is you get a piece of paper and you can date it. So for example, if I were to do it today, I would write December 15th, 2024, okay? So picture yourself next year, from whatever date you sit down and write, you are picturing yourself from exactly a year from now, sitting down and writing out, you know, how their day is going, how their life's been, how the past year has been. If you're doing this for the upcoming year, I would write this as December 31st, 2024. And you have this whole reflection of the year that you have just lived, okay? Essentially, your future self writing this letter, this journal entry about everything that has unfolded in the year. I love doing this. I like doing it like for specific days because I feel like it helps you really get an idea of the way that you're going to be living in your life. Like, how do you want your, I think this is really good for people who are trying to like develop a morning routine or a night routine or just like kind of a different lifestyle. Okay, what does that look like? What does it look like from the moment you wake up? How do you wake up? What time do you wake up? What are you wearing? What does your bedroom look like? As specific as possible. And I'm gonna give you an example. I did this for November 11th, which was 11/11, and it's a very powerful manifestation day. And I'm bringing that one up because you can do the scripting, like the normal scripting, but another method of manifesting on 11/11 specifically is people do a list of 111 wishes, because like the 11/11, if anybody knows about like numerology, like there's a lot that goes into it. It's not just hocus pocus but there is a lot of information out there that explains this kind of stuff. But what I was trying to explain was I like to do days, like single days. I obviously do a scripting for the future year, but I like doing the specific days because it gives you more of a detailed look into like what a regular day would look like for you. Not so much all of the big activities that you want to do, the trips you want to go on, the people you want to see, but it kind of gives you, okay, like what on a normal Thursday, what does your day look like? Because that's where the real change starts to happen in your life, is those little routines, those little things in your day-to-day life that kind of build up to those bigger manifestations. So that's why I think scripting is so powerful. And this one specifically, I remember I wrote it and I was giddy the entire time I was writing it, and then I read it to my mom and I was blushing, I was smiling. It just got me so excited. So I'm gonna share a little bit of it. I'm not gonna share a lot, I'll share a little bit. Basically, I started it saying, I'm so grateful for. So that's a big thing when you're manifesting. You write it as if it's already yours. It's always something, if you can think it, if you can dream it, it can be yours. So write it as such, because then you're coming from an abundant mindset and not a lack mindset. I'm so grateful for my days here in Charleston, South Carolina. Today was such a good day. It started bright and early at 5 a.m. what time I wanted to wake up. I wake up with a Hatch, which is one of those alarm clocks that's all over like social media right now, which I love for helping naturally wake up. I got out of my comfy queen size bed with pink floral print sheets and stepped into my fuzzy slippers and went straight to the bathroom. I washed my face and brushed my teeth and threw on a hoodie from one of my recent collection drops over my cute matching PJ sets I got from Amazon. Then I headed to my favorite corner of my room, turned on my salt lamp, sat in my comfy chair with a fuzzy blanket, and turned on a tapping video with Brad Yates. That's something that I have started doing in the last few months, and I am not going to stop doing it because it has been such a significant change. Anyway, let's continue. After that, I did a quick 10-minute meditation, stretched, and did a prayer for myself for the day. I then opened my blinds to see the weather, which was a beautiful, crisp fall day. I then changed into my favorite workout set, which was all black, and it's all seamless with a fitted jacket on top. I walk out and I leash up my sweet, well-behaved golden retriever Daisy, and I go for a quick morning walk. We come back to make breakfast, which was an egg sandwich, and then I feed Daisy as well. And basically it goes in to talk about the rest of my day and how the work that I'm doing, like what do I do for work, and kind of like I have a date night with my boyfriend, like what he's like, what my family dynamic is like. And it was very detailed, very specific, and I like, my cheeks feel red, like there's heat in my cheeks because I'm blushing. But I like reading this back sometimes. I hadn't read it since I pulled out my camera today, but it just makes me so happy to think about it, because obviously that's something that I would like to manifest for, is meeting my significant other. And I'm talking about the significant other, not just like, I don't want to just call in some random person into my life that's not going to last. I want to meet my forever person. Obviously, you meet different people at different times in your life, and some of them stay, some of them go, and you meet them for different reasons, and it helps you build a bigger picture of what it is that you're looking for. And I am one of those crazy people. I have written pro-con lists of pretty much everybody who's... This is probably going to sound so crazy, but because wanting to meet my significant other and my future person was such a big, like, it's such a big thing for me, because I've been doing so much work for myself since getting out of my one long-term relationship with the guy that I thought I was gonna marry when I was 17. Like, I really thought that he was gonna be my forever person. Ever since our breakup 2 years ago at this point, I have really been trying to do the internal work of like, okay, what kind of love do I give? What kind of love do I need? And then over the course of the last 2 years, I've gone on a few dates here or there. I've dated a few guys. I've had situationships with a few guys I'm not proud of, but you know, learning experiences nonetheless. But each of those different people that I've experienced going out with, I learned a lot from those experiences, and it definitely did let me hone in on what it is that I'm looking for. What qualities and traits do I want? Because I feel like some people need to be specific. Like, the best way to call into your life exactly what you want is to be so specific. So the universe, God, your guardian angels, anybody who's there to assist you can kind of help line those things up for you if they're meant for you. So be as specific as you want, because it's literally all right there. Like, it's all right there for the taking, and you just have to be willing and courageous enough to ask for it. So I am the type that I was like, you know what, fine, I'm gonna be as specific as possible. I have a freaking list. I have a list, let me tell you, okay? It makes it a lot easier to call it in when you're just like, you know exactly what it is that you're looking for. Anyway, those are the methods that I've tried. If you have any other like manifesting methods and techniques, definitely share them down below, and like maybe we could have like a little like chat about like different ways of manifesting. I think that's so fun. Anyway, back into the next part. Things that I think in the manifesting process, I feel like people overlook this, is you also have to be so self-aware of like where you are. In order to get where you want to go, you have to know where you are currently. And I know that like sounds dumb. Like, some people are like, well, duh, I know where I'm at. Like, I live this life every day. Of course I know where I'm at. But do you know where you are emotionally? Do you know where you are mentally? Do you know where like some of the resistance might be coming from? If you've had this dream of X, Y, or Z for however many years, but you have yet to actually call it into your reality, either A, it's not meant for you. Most people would go, that's the easy route. That's why it's not in my life, is it's just not meant for me. But that's not always the case, okay? Because the universe, God, they'll give you what you want. You just have to ask for it, but you also have to be willing to do the work to get there. And by doing the work, I mean identifying where it is and what it is that is keeping you from achieving those goals, whether they're limiting beliefs. So let's say you want to be in a loving relationship, but you are afraid. You're afraid of being in a new relationship because you were hurt in the last one. Valid. I'm not saying it's not valid. That is a valid reason for why you would be afraid of wanting to be in a relationship, is because you were hurt in the last one. But because you were holding on to the hurt and the pain and the fear of going through that again, you're never going to be able to call in the next best relationship in your life. So you have to identify that fear, that resistance to what you want coming into your life. Or if you want all this money, or you want all this success, but maybe you didn't grow up in a household that was wealthy, or people didn't go to college, people weren't successful in the way that like you want to be successful. So you're not familiar with that, and maybe you don't feel worthy of that because that wasn't the way that you were brought up. That's a limiting belief that you need to cut off. You need to identify where it comes from and then kind of remind yourself like, okay, I understand that's where I came from, but that's not where I'm going, and that belief is not taking me where I want to go. So I'm gonna leave it behind. I'm gonna acknowledge it, appreciate how far it's brought me, but it's not getting me to where I want to go. It's not taking me to the next step, so I'm letting it go. And then you can really start to see the changes come into your life. Okay, those are like my little like helpful tips. We're gonna get into the next part of this video, which is the actual like steps to manifesting and making the vision board, because I know that's what everybody wants to do. They just want to like jump to the making the vision board, but I like the step right before the vision board almost as much as I like actually making the vision board. So like I said at the beginning of the video, I have different categories of life and different prompts for each of those categories. I'm gonna put them up on the screen so that you guys can take a screenshot of it, pause the video, whatever you need to do. Category number 1 is wellness. So under wellness, I have, what are you doing for your body, mind, and soul? Okay, next one. What does your routine look like? Morning routine, night routine, a fitness routine, like what does your what does your life look like? Do you have any fitness goals? Okay, prompt number 4. Are you wanting to take better care of yourself, and what does that entail? So maybe right now you feel stuck, or you feel sluggish, lethargic, however you would describe. Maybe you feel great. Maybe you want to just continue doing what you're doing or add like another step to what you're already doing. Then the next prompt is, are there any better habits that you want to pick up? Category number 2 is relationships. First prompt, what do your relationships look like? And this can be any relationship, friend, family, significant other. What do they look like? Be specific. How often do you see your friends? How often do you see your family? Like, are you making them a priority in your life? Do you have a significant other? What do they look like? If you already have a significant other, like, what does your relationship look like? Do you have any things that you want to work on in your relationship? Are you looking to make new friends? Or if you already have friends, do you want to improve your relationship with your friends? What does that look like? How would that look? How would you make new friends? Next category, personal life. Prompt number 1, what does your relationship with yourself look like? Do you have a good relationship with yourself? Do you have good self-talk? How do you prioritize yourself in your daily life? Like, what are you doing that is strictly designated you time? Do you have any personal goals you are working towards? What are they? Do you have any boundaries you want to put in place or strengthen? And that can be with other people, like relationships in your life, but it's also important to set boundaries with yourself. What are some habits you want to create? Another one that probably should have been like listed earlier in general, like, who are you at your core? What are your values? What do you believe in? Recreation is the next category, which is a really small category. Recreation is, how do you spend your free time? Because I know screen time is such a big thing. Like, people get sucked into their phone or sucked into watching TV, but it's really important to like prioritize how you're spending your free time. So are you somebody who goes on walks in their free time? Are you somebody who reads? Do you want to journal? Do you want to write? Do you want to be creative? Maybe you want to maybe you want to take up a new hobby, which is the next prompt, which is like, are there any hobbies you want to do? I want to bake more. I want to write more. If you're not a type of person who gives yourself a lot of time to enjoy your free time or to create hobbies for yourself or like participate in hobbies, how are you going to prioritize that going into 2024? On to the next category, which is career. What kind of work are you doing? Do you work a 9 to 5? Are you working for yourself? Is there a business you want to start? Is there a different job that you want to do? What is your dream job and what would that look like? What are your career goals? Last category is financial. So obviously the big ticket question is, how much are you making? How much money do you want to make? Monthly, yearly, weekly? Be ambitious. Where is your money going? Like, how do you spend your money? Do you have any financial goals? What would you want your savings account to look like? What do you want your investment account to look like? Like, if you're somebody who's investing, if you're somebody who puts money into like a 401k, is that for retirement? Or like your retirement account? Whatever. I'm getting so warm because I'm talking so fast. I'm talking too much. Just shut it. And then, are there any financial habits that you want to create? Obviously there's some things that don't fall into the categories that I listed. So maybe there's like goals of like, I want to get a dog, but like there are big goals that you could be manifesting for. Like maybe there's a big trip that you want to take. So I would do like an extra category. Anyway, we're gonna get into the actual making of the vision board. Okay, let's focus. This is one of my vision boards from I think like 2 years ago, actually. I'm not even kidding you when I tell you vision boards are something that I'm just the type of person that just loves making a collage. Any excuse to make a collage, I'm like all in. So now what you need to do is you need to go on a Pinterest, pull up your Pinterest. This is what mine looks like. And I love going on Pinterest. Pinterest is like my favorite thing. And start saving things that, you know, save things that resonate with you. This is the part where it's very much like you're looking at the pictures and what type of, it's very important to be aware of what kind of feelings those pictures invoke in you. Like, what does looking at the picture make you feel? But yeah, basically I'm gonna spend some time going through and saving pictures on Pinterest, and then I will pretty much do like a montage screen recording of me putting my final vision board together. This is like my favorite thing to do. But yeah, I'm going to show you guys. This is what my final vision board looks like. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope you got something out of it. And thank you so much for watching. Let's get it. 2024 is gonna be such a freaking great year. And for any of you who are familiar with numerology, 2024 is going to be an 8. Like, if you add up all the numbers, 2024 is an 8, and 8 is the year of abundance. So here's to an abundant 2024. I hope everybody has an abundance of love, relationships, finances, success, an abundance of happiness in general in 2024. That's what I hope for everybody. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.